What up? Going on, guys? It's Dylan. I am heavily caffeinated, and I'll go into why in a second. So this is the diet portion, and a couple things I want to cover. First, I want to break down just the science behind what it is, what we're doing, and then we'll get into the application part and some action steps I'm going to have you guys take before the competition starts. So, 3 factors of fat loss. Number 1 is energy balance. Okay, so that's calories in versus calories out. Obviously, this is not a complete recommendation. Other things matter that will be taken into account. But if I were to put, 2 people on the same diet and change one of their calories and the other one's, made heavier, the person that had the lower calories would obviously lose weight. Now, it's not a long-term solution because as you drop calories, your metabolism is going to go down. But at the base of any effective fat loss program, you need to be in a caloric deficit. That means that you're consuming less calories than you're burning, okay? With that said, the second part is when you're in a caloric deficit and you're losing weight, you want to make sure that the weight is coming from your body fat and not your muscle. Your body can't really decide like, oh yeah, I'm going to choose to lose just body fat based on this. No, it will peel from whatever place it can. So 2 things are important when you're in a caloric deficit. One is to do strength training so you can maintain or increase your lean muscle mass. The other thing you want to make sure of is that you're getting enough protein. Okay, so when you come in and we get your body fat, what we're going to do is find out what your lean body mass is, and I'll put it up here on the screen, the recommendation for protein, which is 0.8 to 1.5 grams of protein per pound of lean body mass. Okay, so I'm 10% body fat. I weigh 190 pounds. Actually, I weigh 185 pounds. Then I basically subtract 10% of 185, and that is and then I times that by 0.8, and I also times it by 1.5, and that is my gram range of protein for the day. I'll put that up on the screen for you guys. The other thing is, so that's the second one. So first one's energy balance. You need to be in a caloric deficit, and the calories I want you at for an aggressive fat loss technique is going to be 10 calories per pound of goal body weight. I'll also put that on the screen. So if you want to be at 1,700 pounds, if you want to be at 170 pounds, your caloric intake would be 1,700. Okay, so if you stay in a caloric deficit too long, or if you restrict carbohydrates or you restrict something in your diet for too long, what's going to happen is you're going to go into starvation mode, basically. Your metabolic processes won't work the same. Your body's just going to start fucking up. Your hormones will off-regulate, etc. So what we do is we have one time a week, we have a refeed where you go at least 600 calories, at most 900 calories, higher than what your caloric deficit is. So if you were at 1,700, your refeed day would be about 23 to 2,600. Okay. Don't get addicted to, you're going to see a big drop each week. You should be seeing 1 to 2 pounds lost each week. And don't get addicted to that and think, oh, I just need to keep restricting. No, you need to refeed. That is imperative. It will be very damaging to your body if you don't. Okay, so please refeed. The third most important part is typology. Everyone gets so hung up on different diets like paleo, Atkins, gluten-free. And while they're all great and, they're all effective in their own sense, you're going to plateau on them real quick. If you're not controlling variables like energy balance and macronutrients, you're going to plateau very quick. People that typically have good results on them have some weight to lose, and they're moderating and decreasing their weight. For me personally and for my clients, I have not seen one that is in decent shape already go on a paleo diet, go on a different diet, and have that change their food typology and have decent results. Okay, so the food typology, the type of food that you're eating, doesn't matter as much. And in fact, if you start restricting yourself and you end up in like a restricted mindset, it's going to cause you to start yo-yoing, and it's going to be horrible for your psyche. For me, I've had some very borderline, be completely candid with you, some borderline disordered eating patterns. I'd go for days where I didn't want to go out because my friends were drinking or eating junk food, so I would restrict, and that just led me to go crazy in my mind, and I would just binge and I would just gain weight. So do not restrict, okay? With that said, the two ways we are going to accomplish these goals of staying in a caloric deficit and getting your protein, carbs, and fats, being in a caloric deficit, you're going to be hungry. It's going to suck. And what we want to do is, take you out of that restricted mindset. When you feel hungry and you're like, oh shit, I can't eat, that's going to lead to restricted mindset, which is going to lead to yo-yoing. But if you are not hungry, which is the goal to keep you throughout the day, and you're at a caloric deficit, it's going to be the most simple way that you're going to drop body fat. It is going to be the most long-lasting, and it'll be the easiest for you. So what we're going to do are two things. One is you're going to do a morning fast. It's called intermittent fasting. It's very popular. It's great for hormonal regulation. It's great for your heart. They do a ton of studies. It's like the new paleo, but it actually works. So you're basically fasting through the morning. And how you don't stay hungry is that you have coffee in the morning and coffee midday, and you'll stay full, and you can typically extend your fast until about 2 p.m., maybe even 3 p.m. But if you're hungry at 12, do not restrict yourself. Eat that meal, and then have your second meal later as close to bed as you can, okay? Really just having 2 meals a day here. So intermittent fasting, coffee is going to be your friend. If you don't drink coffee, tea is fine. Don't put any milk in it because that'll break your fast. Don't put any sugar in there. You can use stevia or Splenda or sucralose. Obviously, I recommend stevia, but you need to use any aspartame. That's whatever. Close is close enough for that. But it's gonna keep you full in the morning. Drink lots of water. Water is huge. I'm gonna give you guys a little cheat sheet that you can take with you and keep track on all these little strategies. If you're dehydrated, it's going to have the same symptoms as being hungry, okay? Sparkling water will keep you full. I love sparkling water. I have some right here. Sparkling water is great. I also have some coffee right here. It's 12 o'clock right now. I usually extend my fast personally until 3 p.m. I'm not hungry at all. This is easy. Other things you want to make sure you're doing, hitting your protein. It could be hard. So what I usually do is just hit all my protein my first meal, and then it's YOLO. For the rest of the day, I can have whatever I want. I eat ice cream or froyo or whatever it is. I'm a big eater, so I like to have big meals, and having the two, I can have huge meals and still stay in a caloric deficit at 1,700 calories. It's pretty awesome, okay? Another strategy is you want to eat foods that are going to keep you full. Okay, like potatoes are great, beans are great, any fibrous vegetables are great, and those are fantastic. The other thing for intermittent fasting, you want to make sure that we're doing our macros, so we're getting and we're maintaining our energy balance as well. So the other part of the diet is flexible dieting. Okay, so you have intermittent fasting where you're fasting until midday using caffeine strategically. If you don't drink caffeine, there's actually been studies that have shown that decaf tea or coffee will actually suppress your appetite as well. Okay, so as long as you're not restricting, you're not in the restricted mindset, and you're full, you are not going to have that yo-yoing. All right. The other part of the diet is flexible dieting, it's called, okay? So you might have already heard of this. It's IYFM, if it fits into your macros, and you can basically have whatever you want, and I recommend having one cheat food or cheat meal, whatever it is, like a piece of chocolate, whatever it is, especially when your willpower is high. It will teach your body to moderate. It'll teach your body to still enjoy the things you like, and it's a long-term solution. You can go out with your friends, you can have drinks, you can have this and that. You're just going to need to be more strategic about how you do it. I want you to do right now is take your phone out, go to the App Store, and download MyFitnessPal. That's where I am. That's where you're going to track your calories and your protein. And I want you to send me a friend request. My handle, I'm going to put it up here, is Dylan A. Conrad. Okay, Dylan A. Conrad. And that's going to be where you're going to log your food in. Close is close enough for that. If you don't know exactly where you are, ballpark it as close as you can. If you're going out, if someone's cooking for you, don't stress out about being exact. But when you're at home and you have home court rules, measure stuff out. You should be knowing exactly what's going into your body anyways. And you should know portion control. So you should learn what a half a cup of Greek yogurt looks like. You should have, what 8 ounces of chicken breast look like. You should know what, how much half a bar of chocolate is, just by kind of looking at it and just knowing in your head. So when you do put in those calculations in MyFitnessPal, they'll be more accurate over time, okay? So this is a skill we're teaching. We're always learning and creating new things here. So you're going to definitely have to get used to this. So you're going to set your calories in MyFitnessPal. And how you do that is you go into settings. I'm going to put it up here. You go into settings. Then you go into, let me see, you go into settings. Then you go to more. And then you go to goals, and then you're going to go to, under nutrition goals, you're going to go to calorie and macronutrient goals. So at the top, you have your calories. You click on the calorie part, you put your calories in. Okay, so you delete everything, put in whatever your goal body weight is, times 10. Press check. Carbohydrates and fat, I don't really care about, but I want to make sure you set the protein to that 0.8 to 1.5 recommendation that we had. Carbs and fats, how you set those is up to you, and I don't really care that much about them. I would say whatever makes you more full, if you really want to track them. I don't really even track them at all. I just make sure that I'm hitting my protein for the day. Carbs and fats, whatever makes you feel fuller. If having more fats makes you feel fuller, then great, have more fats. If having more carbohydrates make you feel fuller, have more carbohydrates. It's really your call. So all I'm really worried about is calories and protein, and you're going to log that in. You're going to go to, when you get back, you're going to go to your diary, and you're just going to add food as you have your food. There's an option most people will have, which is you can hit a location button, and you can look up the restaurants that are close to you, and they'll have all their calories in there already and everything. If they don't, you're going out with your friends, eyeball it, say, don't worry about logging vegetables, and don't worry about logging fruit either. I would limit yourself to 2 pieces of fruit a day, but vegetables, don't worry about it. It's going to be good for keeping you full anyways. That's about it. Yeah. So combination of intermittent fasting and flexible dieting. Okay. If it fits into your macros. The other part is setting your calories, setting your protein, and just logging. So those are the takeaways from today. I know it's a long video. I have a write-out that I'm going to attach to this as well. If you have any questions, please shoot me an email. That's about it. Enjoy, guys. Have a great rest of your day.